You cross that line, you make a promise to the guy next to you.
Welcome to your life.
We're destined for this.
There's no turning back.
Just stay the course.
Even while you sleep,
Absolutely amazing.
we'll find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to know.
Touchdown.
Oh, he threw him away like a rag doll.
Oh my gosh. Henry runs right by him.
I have never, ever seen that in an NFL game.
Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line. And the ball is caught! Caught! Touchdown!
What a catch.
18 weeks of trials, tribulations, and triumphs have brought us here to the start of the NFL playoffs. And for the second consecutive year, Wild Card Weekend kicks off in Houston, Texas at NRG Stadium. That's where the Los Angeles Chargers collide with the AFC South champion Houston Texans with the spot in the divisional round on the line. And there is Justin Herbert wearing the custom Los Angeles Fire Department gear to honor the heroes fighting the fires in the LA area. Some things are absolutely bigger than football, and today is one of those days where we see the fraternity rallying around a community in need. And hello, folks, and welcome to the NFL Today, powered by Ram Trucks. I'm James Brown, alongside a few guys who know exactly what the season, the postseason is all about. They will be our Hall of Fame coach, Bill Cowher, former league MVP, Matt Ryan, and a big welcome to our colleague, man, this kid knows everything, Super Bowl champion, Jason McCourty. Nate, by the way, is in Houston gearing up for the Nickelodeon broadcast of today's game, and we'll check in with him in just a few. But first, the road to the Lombardi Trophy is a tough one indeed. So let's take a look at the path for the squads in the playoffs. In the AFC, things get started in just a few with the Chargers visiting the Texans. Tonight, the Steelers face their bitter rival. They will be the Baltimore Ravens. And tomorrow, it's the 7-seed Broncos taking on the 2-seed Bills in Buffalo. Meanwhile, the Chiefs are off this week as they wait the lowest seed remaining. In the NFC, while Detroit is enjoying their hard-earned bye, the 7-seed Packers head to Philly to face the 2-seed Eagles. And tomorrow night, the 6-seed Commanders are in Tampa for a battle with the 3-seed Buccaneers. And the final wild card matchup comes Monday night, but not as originally planned. Due to the devastating fires affecting the LA area, the game between the Vikings and the Rams has been relocated to Glendale, Arizona. And for more on that move, we turn now to our NFL Today insider. That would be Jonathan Jones.
Yeah, JB, the Rams got their travel party of 450 to Arizona this weekend. They practiced at the Cardinals facility just a few hours ago. Rams paint, cheerleaders, PA announcer, all at the game. 30 chartered buses for fans from LA. The game is sold out. Now, they want it to feel like a home game, except for the fact that the Rams are actually using the visitors' locker room. They play there every year as the visitors, so they're keeping that exactly the same. They've won 9 out of the last 10 in that building.
And thank you so much for keeping us tapped in as usual. Coach, your thoughts on what's taking place?
Well, you know, you sit there as a football team, and not only do you represent your organization, you represent your community as well. And I think it's an opportunity for these two teams in LA, the Chargers and the Rams, to be galvanized, because what they can do for their communities is give them maybe 3 hours of a sense of normalcy and maybe inspire a degree of pride and resiliency as this LA fan base, as this LA territory, as they go through the devastating loss of homes, of people, and of memories. And I think that's what they're charged with today. And I think I can see a very inspired football team, both these teams, from the Chargers and the Rams.
Yeah, you mentioned providing 3 hours of normalcy for the fan bases. I also think it's 3 hours of normalcy for the players and the coaches, right? Sometimes when things like this are going on, you hate to see it as a player and it affects your family. But the place you can escape is on the football field because you're focused. You have this level of intensity. You're trying to get the job done, right? And everything else falls to the wayside. I know that it is in the back of their heads. These guys are thinking about their families, their homes, the communities that are impacted. but I hope they're able to compartmentalize that and go out there and play, because there's nothing like the playoffs.
And I love what you guys both said, because as a locker room, you like to look at yourself as a microcosm of the community, of the society, and when adversity hits, you come together. So for these players in that locker room, you mentioned their families and everything that's going on. This is a time to come together, be vulnerable with your brothers, talk about it, and then go out there on the field with one common goal and go out there and execute and try to win a football game today.
Inspire.
Yes.
And Jason, no question about it. On a human level, there's no question that we are all heartbroken by the devastation and destruction on so many levels from the raging wildfires across the greater LA region. Families affected by these fires urgently need our support. Help the American Red Cross respond and help people to recover from these disasters. You can donate today to support relief efforts by going to redcross.org/NFL. And just the second playoff game of Justin Herbert's career. The first was a historic heartbreaker. That was back in 2023. But a new coach and a new attitude could lead to a new result today.
Coming up on the wild card edition of the NFL Today, J.J. Watt returned to his old stomping grounds this week to catch up with Houston's talented young pass rusher, Will Anderson Jr. Scott Matlock has been a Swiss Army knife for the Chargers this season, and he'll talk with Matt before today's game against the Texans. March Madness is still a few months away, but the NFL's playoff bracket is here, and the CBS college basketball crew will help us fill it out. All that and more in the NFL Today returns on CBS. The NFL Today on CBS is powered by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Verizon Business Corner Store Series spotlights local small businesses with the help of some familiar faces in the NFL family. See more at verizon.com/cornerstore. And for the latest news and updates from around the league, let's tap back in with our NFL Today insider. That would be Jonathan Jones.
JB, 3 games this week featuring teams with better records than their opponents, but playing on the road, including the one that we have coming up in an hour. Now, the NFL will take another look this offseason at potentially changing the playoff format. Maybe top 4 teams and win percentage get a home game instead of division winners. Team owners haven't shown much of an appetite for changing, though. Mike Vrabel, he could be named the next Patriots head coach at any point this weekend. He interviewed in person in Boston Thursday as the Crafts worked quickly to get him in town. Now, Aaron Glenn even turned down an interview because he believed the job is Vrabel's. If and when this happens, look for Vrabel to potentially bring Josh McDaniels back there as his offensive coordinator. Ben Johnson interviewed with the Pats and Raiders yesterday, Bears this morning, Jaguars this afternoon. We've told you Tom Brady has a big say with the Raiders, and I'm told he's been doing all he can to woo Johnson. Now, league sources have seen the Jags as Johnson's best fit, a potential Mark Brunell homecoming as his OC. The Jags have had candidates ask if they could bring their own personnel people after Shad Khan kept GM Trent Baalke. And the Super Bowl winner, Pete Carroll, he interviewed this week with the Bears, and he's in Las Vegas in a few days to meet with the Raiders. I'd keep an eye on him in Las Vegas. That's a division with Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh. The Raiders know they have to get an elite coach to do battle there, JB.
All right, Jonathan, always on point. In fact, thank you so much. Time now. Pre-game HQ delivered by Domino's.
Come bring it on. Either you rise or you fall. Look in my eyes. I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. Let's go.
Justin Herbert puts the team on his back and delivers.
Stroud is absolutely on fire.
Bosa takes him down from behind. Joe Mixon having a big day. Dobbins flips into the end zone. Collins, touchdown! Who's got it better than us?
This is going to be a good one this afternoon, and we are lucky now to be joined by Charles Davis, who is going to be on the call. CD, the Chargers this week dealing with the tragic fires out in LA. You've had a chance to talk with the players and the coaches. How have they been able to compartmentalize what's going on out there with getting prepared to play this game?
Matt, as a player, you know it's difficult to do, but you have to do it. They ended up, chopping up press time a little bit, less time on the field because of the air quality. But Jim Harbaugh told us that they had a chance to come to Houston early, and he said, no way. What everyone's doing here, the first responders, the people of LA, we want to stay within our community and stay here with them. And Derwin James said to me, it's disingenuous to think that you can compartmentalize totally. You have to allow yourself to grieve and be there for your loved ones, but when it's time to play football, be ready to go.
On the other side, we've got the Houston Texans who come in, and all year their strength has been defense, running the football with Joe Mixon. I believe, though, if they're going to make a run in the playoffs, the passing game has to come to life. Bobby Slowick, what does he have to do, their offensive coordinator, to get the passing game going for the Houston Texans?
Matt, they've got to pay off the offensive line moves they've made. Titus Howard from right tackle to left guard. Juice Scruggs moving into right guard now for Shaq Mason. Jarrett Patterson at center. They've got to handle the pressure up the middle so C.J. Stroud can hit his back foot and hit those intermediate throws to Nico Collins and a cast of others, hoping to create some yards after catch and create some space so that Bobby Slowick can open up the playbook and move people around. And they've got to get Mixon going as well. 32 yards per game in his last 4 games, Matt.
That's going to need more than that. CD, have a great call with Ian. Tell Evan, give him our best. We appreciate you, man. Enjoy it. All right, guys, JB, it's going to be a good one.
No question about it. Look here, the Texans offense will have their hands full today, certainly with the league's #1 D.
Yeah, league's #1 D, JB. We talk about in terms of points because they play very good in the red zone. They don't give up a lot of big plays. Going against, you talked about C.J. Stroud on that offensive line. The challenge they're going to have is going against this defense.
Yeah.
Derwin James, you're going to see right here. Day and Henley coming inside. A little blitz right here. Derwin James, 5.5 sacks, 10 tackles for loss. They can put pressure on the quarterback. And then Khalil Mack, you try to double him. You don't want to lose him to the inside. You push him to the outside, and all of a sudden he comes back inside. Again, 54 times C.J. Stroud has been sacked, so they can put pressure on the quarterback, a lot of pressure on the offensive line. On the outside, Tar Heat still. This rookie right now, you can see they play a lot of zone. They're going to sit there and try to match up in there. Great chance of eyeing the quarterback, steps in front, goes for a pick six. So they're very good on the back end. They don't give up a lot of big plays, a lot of cover two, and make you kind of be patient up front. Joe Mixon is going to have to be very good at running the football if they're going to be successful today.
And, Coach, I couldn't wait for you to get to the DBs. That's a Jersey kid right there, still taking it back to the house. When you talk about how good this defense is, that takes pressure off of the offense. And you look at Justin Herbert earlier in the season, it was a lot of run game. He wasn't getting all those passing yards, but then he started to find his guy, Ladd McConkey, in the slot, the rookie who's coming there. And D'Amico Ryans called him an elite route runner. Whether it's man, whether it's zone, he's out there, and it's an and-one mixtape when he gets in those routes and opening things up and making it easy for the quarterback
I used to love the N1 mixtape. Watching that stuff, all of the moves, the professor. I'm looking at Justin Herbert today, though. Yeah. Justin Herbert, to me, he's a guy that for 5 seasons has been incredibly productive in the regular season. Most passing yards through 5 seasons, 6th in touchdowns through 5 seasons. But it's only his second opportunity in the playoffs. He's got an opportunity today to kind of step into that next tier of quarterback if he can produce in the playoffs. I think the pressure is going to be on him, but I believe this guy delivers today and plays well for the Chargers.
And, Coach, when you had the blueprint for the Chargers down pat, when you said when Harbaugh was coming in, they've lived it to perfection to get to this point.
They did. I think what he did is took the pressure off of Justin Herbert early in the season, running the football, shoring up that offensive line. But as the season goes along, like Matt said, get to the playoffs, it's time for Justin Herbert to take a step forward.
Well, they are there now. Hey, folks, and joining us live now from Bikini Bottom. Boy, Nate gets the assignment, does he not? In Houston, where he'll be calling today's Nickified game, not in prime time, but in slime time. Our guy, Nate Burleson.
What's up, JB? What's going on? Listen, I miss being in the studio with you and the crew, but I am hanging out with SpongeBob and Patrick. What's up, y'all?
We're your new crew, Nate.
That's right. We get Nate. Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
It's going to be awesome, guys. Listen, we will have this game Nickified up, and the whole Nickelodeon universe is going to join us. We have Ninja Turtles popping up, Dora the Explorer, Jimmy Neutron, and that's just to name a few. You guys excited?
I'm so excited. I hope I don't mess up.
Who's got it better than us? Who's got it better than us?
And I can't forget about the MVP. We are going to be handing out the Nickelodeon Valuable Player Award.
You guys get to choose. MVP.
Big endorsements coming somebody's way.
That's right. We will be here, but Bikini Bottom, so make sure you check us out. We got you covered from the grandparents all the way to the grandkids. Nickelodeon is here, baby. We got clam cannons. It's going to be wild here at Bikini Bottom.
Hey, folks, there's not much C.J. Stroud can't do on the football field, and he certainly has the potential to dazzle each week. But judging by his warm-up, the young man can certainly hoop with the best of them.
Yeah, JB's probably more excited about the Ohio State football team, who's also thankful they don't face Jim Harbaugh anymore. He's in the stadium where he won the national championship with Michigan last year. Remember, it was SpongeBob who said, "Who's got it better than us?"
I'm sure glad they told me that the gifted one was going to ad-lib that because it's not there, so thank you, Adam. No question. Hey, folks, and speaking of hoops, it's postseason time in the NFL, but when it comes to brackets, we know what to do to call in the experts, our college basketball crew. Jason and I are here with Adam Zucker, while Jay Wright and Clark Kellogg are standing by with Coach and Matt to help break down the playoff field. And let's start with the NFC, Matt and Jay.
Perfect. JB, thank you. Coach, you know a thing or two about navigating the brackets. Let's take a look at what you're going to do in the NFC playoffs right here.
We do reset it with the seeding, so it's a little bit different.
Slightly
right,
different. Slightly different.
Let's start with the Eagles and the Packers. You know I'm a Philly boy.
Yeah, shocker there.
The best leadership. The best leadership. Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni. They get it done together. Got to go with my Birds in the first round.
Okay, I like that.
Next round, let's go down to the Bucks and the Commanders. Commanders gave us a little trouble during the season. Gave us the Eagles trouble, but Todd Bowles and the Bucks beat Detroit during the season.
Okay,
right. I like them. And we're going to have to put
the home team here.
Down here
Okay,
the home team and the
three
Bucks
seed,
right here.
They're going to see the Eagles.
I don't know, Matty. I don't know what you think about this, but the Vikings, I like coaching and culture in playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? Kevin O'Connell, I love him. And you know where he gets all his coaching? His father played football at Villanova.
Oh,
that's the key.
That's how you go.
So I got to go with Kevin O'Connell, and I go with the Vikings right there.
Sticking with the people you know. I like it.
Stick with them. All right, let's keep moving now. Let's go Bucks, Eagles.
Let me guess. Let me guess.
Look. The offensive line of the Eagles is just awesome. Everybody else gets credit. I love the offensive line of the Eagles.
Very good.
You got to go with them right here.
All right, who we got in this one?
The Detroit Lions would have been my favorite team of the year if they didn't have to play against the Eagles. But I love the Lions. Coach has done a great job with this culture, and they are the best team in the NFC East. Besides the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles are going back to the Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley, MVP season, they're going.
Clearly, you'll be welcome back in Philadelphia when you head that way. JB, what do you guys think of the NFC over there?
I'm looking to Zook. I mean, is he a walking billboard for everything Philadelphia?
Of course, he's going to the Villanova game at MSG as soon as we're done.
I'm looking at it, I'm saying, Jay, there has to be an upset in round one. Like, we're talking brackets.
I hear you.
I think Jaden Daniels might be the one to do that upset. Watch out.
Our Eagles don't want to see him.
Hey, maybe we'll have a bit more, what's the word, unbiased look. Let's talk about the AFC. Go over to Coach and Clark.
Okay, first of all, Clark, this is not the NCAA football bracket.
We can't put them on the bracket?
It's not that. This is the AFC side. You and I, Cleveland roots.
Yes,
we know
indeed.
how but go ahead. What do you got?
I'm going to start right here. I'm quarterback-centric, Coach. That's what I'm leaning towards. Josh Allen. He takes care of the Broncos.
Rookie going to the playoffs. Yeah. Impressive with Bo Nix.
He's been very impressive, and this is good experience for him, but he won't be able to advance, okay? Now, we take a look at this. This was my hardest matchup because obviously there's a quarterback who hails from the Ohio State University, C.J. Stroud. I was torn, but I just...
And where's the head coach from? He came from...
Where? I can't say that. TTUN, okay? So you got to go right...
No, down here?
Down here, that's right here. Okay, all right. So I'm going with the Chargers, but I wouldn't be upset if the Texans prevail. Okay, all right. And then we're going down here, Ravens, Steelers, Lamar Jackson. Again, I'm quarterback-centric, okay?
I got you.
So I'm going Lamar Jackson right here. Okay.
All right.
And then we're going quarterback-centric. I'm going with the Ravens right here.
So quarterback.
Well, I'm going right here, Kansas City, obviously.
Okay, right here, quarterback-centric.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert and him. You're going to say quarterback-centric over Josh?
I'm leaning just because most likely we've got the MVP playing for the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
In the quarterback position. Is that correct?
I love your analysis. I'm not sure I agree with it.
Okay. Well, you don't think Lamar's going to be MVP?
I don't know. for the MVP. I think both those quarterbacks are actually very, very good at what they do, and they're playing at home as well. And also, they lost in Week 4 in Baltimore. That's chip on the shoulder.
No question. Well said, Coach. And this is your hey, if history is going to be made, this will be the first time we have a three-peat champion. It should be Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes that get it done.
Yeah, that's great. That's great, guys. Who's winning it all? Who's winning it all?
I already said.
They're winning the AFC.
I would go,
We've got the Chiefs going against Philly.
I said three-peat.
Excuse me.
If it has to happen and the Eagles have to get beat, Andy Reid's my man. I love him. Spagnuolo, great defensive coordinator, love him. But they just aren't going to be able to beat the Eagles. Jalen Hurts is going to get it done, and Saquon Barkley is going to run for over 100 yards in the Super
Kansas
Bowl.
City Chiefs.
Well done. All right, let's get some reaction from the desk over there.
Aside from trying to figure out how much Jay Wright is making from the Philadelphia folks,
Yes, 100%.
Talk about their AFC selections
It's the
and
truth,
the Super Bowl.
though.
Well, I'm looking at it. It has to be a bracket buster in here. Somebody has to do something to make all of it go up in shambles. But we're going to see exactly what happens. I just love that they knew where all the picks went and the home team. And everything.
Number one rule with brackets, you let your kids fill it out for you. So my son told me, Buccaneers, Broncos.
Oh.
So I told him this might be said on national television. He said Bills, Lions.
We got it for sure.
Told them TV what.
Hey, folks, thank you guys so very much. The Hoopsters know a little bit as well, too. Jason, give me an overview of Justin Herbert as we head to commercial here.
Oh, Justin Herbert is a guy you want under center. He can make it happen. Let's see if him and Harbaugh can get it done today.
Khalil Mack still searching for that elusive first playoff win. And folks, his message to the team this week was all about urgency and intensity. He knows there's no time to waste, and today is about getting this dub by any means necessary.
Let's go get this done. Let's go. Know what we're fighting for. Wilson fires perfectly timed.
Oh, my goodness. That's what Russell Wilson can do for you.
Taken down by T.J. Watt. Oh, boy. Touchdown, Lamar. Jackson takes it himself.
He can beat you with his arm. He can beat you with his leg.
He is Houdini. Great play. And now it's Henry time. He will go all the way. Touchdown, Derrick Henry.
Welcome to the big stage.
So the Steelers and Ravens are ready to write the third and final chapter to this season's story. And for more on that matchup, let's bring in our very own Melanie Collins, who is out in Baltimore. Hello, Melanie.
Hello, JB. Just hours away from that final chapter being written. And though he's already a two-time MVP, somehow Lamar Jackson has elevated his play even more this season. He became the first player in NFL history to pass for over 4,000 yards and rush for over 900 yards in a single season. Certainly all eyes are going to be on Lamar Jackson in this matchup, but his eyes are on one thing and one thing only, and that is a Super Bowl. He told me, I've got a chip until I get the ship, and he will begin his quest for a Super Bowl tonight without his leading receiver, Zay Flowers, who's been ruled out with a right knee sprain. As for Russell Wilson and that Steelers offense, well, they stumbled their way into the postseason, losing 4 straight games, averaging just 14 points per game over that span. But in speaking with Steelers players this week, their approach to this game is clear. Forget the past. It is a clean slate for them. They're coming into this game against the Ravens like it's a new season. They know they've earned the right to be here, and they're going to have a raucous crowd to contend with tonight. It is cold. It is going to be dark. Wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour at kickoff, JB, which could play a big factor in this game as well.
Melanie, thank you so much for the tone setter there. And who knows better about this matchup than you?
Yeah, I think you look at this in two ships traveling different directions right here, crossing in the night. And I think you look at it again, it's the playoffs right now. And in the playoffs, Pittsburgh's been 3-1 against the Ravens, but they've all been in Pittsburgh. This one now is in Baltimore. And I think right now for Pittsburgh, the key is, I think, is that offense, as Melanie made mention to. Look for Justin Fields, I think, to enter into this game right now, just to give him a little bit of a spark or a different dimension.
Okay, let's take a break from this game and let's get to the one that's coming up. We're lucky to be joined right now by Scott Matlock. Scott, number one, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. You are playing in your first playoff game ever, which is awesome. I'm curious, though, 50-50 during the week. Do you spend half your time in defensive meetings, half your time in offensive meetings? Where do you spend most of your time during the week?
I'd say it's pretty split. I mean, Obviously, most of my snaps have been on offense this year, but I mean, I'm ready for both. I prepare like I'm going to play both sides every single snap. So it's just been a good job of the coaches, creating a schedule around me and helping me be prepared.
It's been a very tragic week in LA, right? The fires have been roaring out there, and it's obviously been tough on you and the team. How have you guys been able to compartmentalize what's going on out there with getting prepared and ready to play in today's ballgame?
Yeah, it's such a terrible thing that's happening in LA with all the families that are being affected, and we're just trying to do our part and come in every day and get the work that we need to get done. And whether we're practicing at our facility or some park or in the parking lot, it doesn't matter. We were going to prepare for this game no matter what. So we just did everything we could to prepare, and but we are definitely keeping all the families affected in our thoughts today.
Us too, man. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody. Last thing for me, you're going in. You've got like 25 minutes until this game kicks off. I'm always curious about guys' routines in the locker room before they come back out. What is yours? What do you do when you go back in?
I just go, sit in my locker, throw some music on, and just lock in. Just visualize my job every play. Just stay calm, one play at a time, and just get in that mental space to go play a football game and in a fight for 60 minutes.
Well, we appreciate you taking some time to talk to us. Go get in that mental space. Good luck today, man.
All right, well, thank you.
So nice to get a look at a guy like that who oftentimes we refer to as a Swiss Army knife. Bill, talk about the value of a player like that.
He's a Swiss Army axe. He's a big man. This man's 300 pounds. And when you look at Scott Matlock, this is not Matty. This is not Ben. This is a guy that plays both ways. You can see right here, right up the middle, straightest point between 2 points is right up the middle. Sack, defensive line. That was the defensive line meeting. Now all of a sudden, you know what? Here we go. Come across here. How about a little play action? Never expect you to get out there. Watch. Make a guy miss. Okay. He stopped. He started. He got down the field, but this is what he does best. He's a 300-pound guy, sets the corner, sets the edge, next level block. You can see right there, Scott Matlock to me is one of those guys. He's selfless. He does anything you ask him to do. It doesn't even mention what he does at special teams in terms of covering kicks and blocking for kicks. So the guy never comes off the field. He's selfless and invaluable to that football team.
I see him making that move, and I'm wondering, Matt, could you get out of that juke move faster
I might be stuck.
than Scott, or is he doing it?
A couple years ago, maybe I get out.
A couple years ago. But I look at him, man, you mentioned it, 300 pounds. As a former DB, I couldn't imagine Matlock coming at me. And now you can't cut those guys or go low. And coach telling me, hey, I got to take him on head-to-head and try to set the edge. So he's been unbelievable for them. And the amount of time in meetings, it's so hard during the course of a week to get prepared for one side of the ball, and he's trying to do it on offense and defense.
Championship teams have great role players.
Yes.
Guys like Scott Matlock make a huge difference this time of the year.
He identifies as a Charger. And when you look at these two teams and how they got there, these are the two coaches right here. Jim Harbaugh, 14 years as a player, is his 4th playoff appearance. D'Amico Ryans, 10 years as a player, his 2nd year as a head coach, 2nd year in a row with the Houston Texans.
The NFL Today is sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Make every moment more. And by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
And there's a look at Houston's Will Anderson Jr. as he gets ready for today's game against the Chargers. This will be his 2nd NFL postseason in as many years in the league. And earlier this week, our colleague J.J. Watt paid a visit to his former squad to check in with a talented young pass rusher who not only has some great stories to tell, but has some questions of his own for his well-respected predecessor.
Anderson has been unstoppable by Will Anderson Jr.
Will Anderson rips him down.
Messy pocket, look out! Anderson knocked it away.
Everybody who knows you knows you're one of the happiest, smiley, just most jovial people on the planet. but then everybody watches you on game day, and you're the Terminator. You're a game wrecker.
Anderson is a one-man wrecking crew.
How do you handle switching from nice guy to beast?
Try to stay calm, cool, and collected. Just finding that even medium, like you not being overstimulated. That time where I know this dude lined up against you. He want to go against you, and I think that's for me, like, I always stay on edge. So that switch is easy for me to switch. Like, I got to go get it out the mud no matter what it takes.
You have 5 older sisters. It sounds like they beat up on you a little bit growing up. Tell me about your family.
My sisters were rough growing up. Like, they all played sports too, and they were just rough. I got so many bruises on me. I got cut with glass. They hit me in the head with weights, locked me in the closet, dressed me up in a giraffe suit, and hung me at the door and let the dog try to bite me. All types of things.
Wait. Hang on. You got to tell that story.
So my sisters would take me, put me in a giraffe suit, and pick me up and hang me at the door and just crack the door open just a little bit and let the dogs like try to nibble at me or whatever like that. And I used to be crying every single day when my mom left for work.
No wonder you're a dog out there. This is cake. This is cake. I got 2 brothers. I've never had anything close to that.
It was rough.
Sisters are brutal. Parents are at every game, right?
Every
Home
game.
and away.
They don't miss a game.
That's incredible, man. What does that mean to you to see them at every single game?
My dad, he's played a big role in my life. Coming to my practices, like, I used to tell people, like, I didn't have the dad to where, like, oh, my son in the game. He was like, Coach, if you don't want to go in, if you don't want to play, bring him over in with me. Like, that's the type of dad I have.
I had the same, man. My dad would be like, hey, he stinks. Get him out. Like, I don't want him. I know. I look up in the stands. He's scowling down. It's going to be a bad car ride home.
Anderson, great hand placement, great speed to power rusher.
What's your favorite move?
I like speed to power. Like, that's my game. My favorite move, recently, stab club has been my baby. My long arm, defeating that outside hand and bringing that rip, that's been my go-to this year. I actually seen the clip of you doing that. You had, like, sold it, and he had sat. As soon as you sat, you hit him with a and he came back inside. It was nice.
Now you got me dreaming, man. Now you got me dreaming.
Come back. I do got a question for you. So, like, going into the playoffs, it's a different level now. How did your mentality change?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of understanding that it's a different level, and you have to take a game to a different level, but also understanding the reason you're here is because of how you played to get here. But you should also let that energy and anticipation flow through you and lift you up to another level. It seems like you and CJ and the whole crew really do understand what this means to this city and what winning football means. And I hope you take this place to somewhere that I never could. And I wish you all the best. I'm a huge fan. I can't wait to watch you on Saturday.
Nice job indeed by JJ pulling out some nice stories there from Will. Even though we don't have the bobblehead here, indeed, Coach does
Yeah, you look
respect
at
that.
so JJ was kind of going back his memory. He's talking about pass rush moves. I thought JJ's going to pull one out. But think about these 2 guys and think about what Will Anderson has done in the history of the Houston Texans. You can see right there, 26 sacks off of JJ in the first 2 seasons. Mario Williams, another fantastic pass rusher. And then you talk about Will Anderson, and you team him up with Donnell Hunter. They got 23 sacks between them, and it's going to be their job is to put some pressure on Justin Herbert.
That's one heck of a list when you look at those 3 guys. And listening to Will Anderson's story, I loved it because I have a twin brother. There's 3 of us total, and I used to beat him up and do whatever I could to him as well. But this Houston Texans defense, I'm looking at Derek Stingley Jr., the cornerback on the outside. He is their star. How much can he get matched up on Lab McConkey, the other side, their star as well, to see who can win that type of matchup?
Yeah, and those guys in the secondaries have been ball hawks, safeties and corners, right? And that starts with the guys up front. It's going to be important. Chargers don't turn it over very much, right? A couple takeaways today. This game could be very different.
Time to make every moment more with FanDuel, Matt Ryan. Trust your hunch and turn your instincts into winning plays. And we start with Coach.
Yeah, I thought Joe Mixon, I think, is going to be big in this game, not just in a run game, but the pass game. I see him having at least 90-plus yards rushing and catching, and I got a good hunch on that one.
It pains me as a former DB to talk about receivers, but I think Lab McConkey, 7 receptions, I think he goes over that, and Justin Herbert is able to find him and get the ball in his hands.
Well, my hunch is going to need Lab McConkey to play well, because I got Justin Herbert going for over 200 passing yards today. I questioned it a little bit after that piece we saw right there from JJ and what Will Anderson can do, but I think Herbert's time is now. I think he plays well today.
Well, speaking of that quarterback, I know you're quarterback for Houston. You expect him to play well.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud. I mean, big opportunity for him. He's looking to become the first Texans quarterback to have multiple playoff wins in franchise history.
The NFL Today on CBS is powered by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Time now for our picks. Game day delivery presented by Amazon. I'm slowing up because Coach actually changed his mind. Hey, folks, we're just about ready to get things started in Houston. Chargers or Texans? Coach.
You know, I was going a certain way when I got this text from JJ. I saw the interview. You know what? I'm going right now. I'm going with the Houston Texans 24-17. It's a thing called running game. You keep talking about the offensive line. Damian Pierce, Joe Mixon. You get the running game going. It's funny how that slows down that pass rush. Okay, and then all of a sudden it opens up for Nico Collins at a second level. So, yeah, I've got the Houston Texans.
Jason's looking at you like I don't believe this.
I'm like, well, Coach, I don't have any inside info. There's nobody texting my phone or anything, so I'm keeping my original pick. I'm going with the Chargers, and I'm saying it's going to be 24-14, a two-score game. Jesse Mentor, Chargers defensive coordinator, with that disguise and all that, I think they come away with 2 takeaways.
All right, so what's your pushback now?
Listen, Coach, you told me all year your strengths get you to the playoffs.
Right.
But your weaknesses get you eliminated. I look at the Texans as having more weaknesses than the Los Angeles Chargers. I think the offensive line for the Chargers a little bit better. To me, I'm going with the Los Angeles Chargers getting the job done on the road, 27-17.
The only thing I'll say about that is the other thing, part of an offense is playing at home. You look at the home field. The home crowd gives you an energy, gives you a boost. It can also help a running game. It can slow down the opposing running game. J.K. Dobbins, if they get that running game and make them one-dimensional, I think they can match up because they can get after the quarterback with the nail hammer and Will Anderson.
Real quickly, final thoughts starting with Matt.
I think Justin Herbert plays well. I think he's been waiting for this opportunity since that hard loss that they had in the playoffs a couple of years ago. I think they're a better football team. They're a better coached football team than they were 2 years ago when they were there. I think they take advantage of the opportunity today.
Yes, I do too, and I think they take advantage in that slot where the Texans have had some injuries. Miles Bryant will be the nickel starting in that spot.
I disagree with your advantages.
There you go. Well said, Coach.
All right, so this is a Nate Burleson deal here. Wild Card Weekend is about to start, so we'll see you back here at halftime. Kickoff is just moments away. The Chargers and the Texans, and what I used to do back in the day, not as loud as Nate, I would simply say, next.
Very nice.